Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes. So we are changing the solvers now. Sorry, this single codes now we need to check while copy pasting the codes from website. These codes normally do give a error, single quotes or double quotes or comma, because of their font. Then another parameter that we can set is this, na, maximum iterations. So we can set by default it is 100, but we can make it to 150 also, something like that. So let us go with that. Maximum iterations we'll set to 150, 200, and 250. And finally, we are going to set the value for capital C. No? So we can set it between 0 and 1, but we'll go with 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, something like that. And now instead of random forest, I am creating the object of logistic regression. And now remaining code is same. We just need to change the parameters, change the classifier. Let us run it and hope that it will run without any problem, but no. I need to, I forgot. Since I'm reading the data from my drive, I need to import the drive also. First, I need to do that. How can I forget? It's a very basic step. Okay. Simple thing. Since I'm using the data from drive, okay. Uh, so ask for permission. Here, sometimes we do select a wrong account. That is a common mistake sometimes happens. Normally, I advise to use college accounts because college accounts of Google Suite, they do have a 100 GB limit. So that is always a good idea. We get more memory to work on. Okay. Now let us try to run this thing since we have access to drive now over here. Oh, it is showing. So okay. And now if you can see there is output and it is showing for what combinations we are getting what output and all. So this is grid search CV now which you can try for C is equal to 0.5. So maximum accuracy is almost similar 74, 73, 72, something like that. There is no much difference. But, but we can try other arguments also. We can try higher values for C and other things. We can always do. Like instead of 0.7, okay, we can go with 0.8, 0.9, 1.0, and here we can go with 0.4 also. So this is how you can tune. It's not a big deal. Things are not that difficult. If you know one code, we can try with this thing, other things also. See here, if you can see the output, maximum iterations was reached, but it was not converged. Means what? It simply is telling us that we need to increase the number of iterations. It is simply telling us that we need to increase the number of iterations. So one can always go to code and increase the number of iteration. So here it's always a good idea to reduce some parameters first and check are we able to go with those iterations. So let's say I'll specify a very high number. Let's say 500, 700. I am removing these smaller numbers and I'm removing few parameters also just to save on some time. So control S. इसने यहाँ भी बता दिया ना that maximum number of iterations are done but it is not yet optimized. So again we can run it for optimization. So yes, so it says maximum number of iterations and all, and these are the accuracy. So you can tune on it. But if you'll ask me if I want to choose between multi-layer perceptron and logistic regression, I'll still prefer multi-layer perceptron over it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'll share the code in a chat window. Copy first part of a code and then second part of a. So instead of displaying, you can directly write this thing in a Excel file and other things. Okay. Any query from anyone else? Any other thing, or now can we move to our last part? That while concluding, you can specify that why your accuracy something like that by specific by giving some analysis of your data set. Okay, so let us move to our final thing, our data set. How you can conclude based on your data set. So when you want to write conclusions, you can specify those conclusions with the help of your data sets also. This is not a big deal. For this, first we need a data set. So what I'll do, I'll download the data set first. I have uploaded it also somewhere. Uh, Please give me few seconds to look for my data set. Where is it? Ah, I got it. Can you see this data set? No? Okay. Now see. Now what I want to do, I want to tell, okay, let's say my accuracy is less or high, and I want to do some conclusions on these things. So what can I do? I can do analysis of this data for comparison purpose or conclusion purpose based on class levels, based on class levels. So this last column is our class level. So what I'll first do, I'll segregate my data into two parts based on class levels, class level 1, class level 2. So for that, simply select that column, go to data and Z2A. It will ask for expand. Say yes, I want to expand. You can go for A to Z or Z to A depending on your choice. So now I have two things, one with label as 2 and another with label as 1. So now what we can do is simply copy the code, copy this thing with let's say class label as 2. So class level 2, there are 167 records. So what I'll do, I'll create another sheet with, let's say, I'll name it as C2, that is class level 2. And these are my records for class level 2. Similarly, I'll create another sheet for class level 1, C1. Now, this copy and for class level 1. Okay. So, now I have two things, class level 2, class level 1. Now what we can do, we can sort it on gender just to check whether it is balanced or imbalanced, something like that. So label 2 indicates there is no disease. Label 2 indicates there is no disease. So how many males are there and how many female records are there? So here there are 50 female records and more than 100 male records, completely different. Similarly, let us check for this having liver patient. Now if we'll check how many records belongs to male category and how many to female category. So here only 31 records are belonging to male category and remaining records, that is remaining how many records are there? 92 or something like that. Yes. Here There are 92 records, if you can see over here, belonging to female category and male. So here, for comparison, I can write something like this. For class 1 and class 2. In class 2, there are 92 records belonging to female category. And in class 1, there are 51 record belonging to female category. When it comes to male, in class 2, how many records are there? You can see here, there are 117 records, class 2, belonging to male category. And in class 1, there are 324 records. There are 324 records. So now, here you can say that the data is highly imbalanced. So can you consider it a proper data for training? No. So you have two reasons now. First reason is the data is biased towards class 2. That is one thing. Data is biased toward class 2. That is one thing. And at the same time, data is biased towards male also. So definitely, what about females having category 1? They are very few. So this category is going to get misclassified. The chances of getting misclassified is very high. Why? Everyone knows it's a very simple science. It is not a rocket science also. That hemoglobin level for male and females are different. Similarly, when it comes to different medical parameters, those parameters for normal value and critical value for male and female are different. And here, it simply says that records are imbalanced. So it is not only imbalance between class 1 and class 2, it is also a gender imbalance. It is also a gender imbalance. So this is first thing that you can conclude based on simple thing that the record is highly imbalanced, because of which classification accuracy is going to be less. When there is a high imbalance, classification accuracy is less. And now there are multiple imbalances. Now there are multiple imbalances, not only in terms of class levels, but in terms of gender also. Now let us go for further analysis. So this thing you can conclude why your accuracy is below 90%. So this is something which you can give. Next thing, sort on ages, small, smaller to higher. So if we'll compare on age groups, 167 patients having no diabetes or no liver patients problem. So now check, is the data proper? It varies from age 4 to 85. But how many records are there for age group below 30 or age group below 20? After 7, that is 11, 12, 13, 14, hardly some records. So if records are getting misclassified, you simply check whether the records which are getting misclassified belongs to this age group or what. Records getting misclassified are belonging to this age group or what. If they are belonging to this age group, that is below 20 or below something like that, then you can always say that first of all, class 2 records are less. Second, number of records belonging to this age group are even lesser, because of which these records are getting misclassified. Because of which these records are getting misclassified. So this is another conclusion that you can say. And now these conclusions are based on what? This thing. So now you are telling it about how it is imbalanced, not only based on class numbers. Second, you are talking about attributes, male gender attributes, now age attributes. So it is highly imbalanced. So this is one thing that you can write in your conclusion. And for that, you don't need to do any rocket science. It's simple things. You can directly do it in Excel file or you can write a Python code, whatsoever you are comfortable with. But if you are not though so comfortable with Python code, you can easily do it this thing in Excel also. Now, liver patients, the people who are having liver problem. Let's go to that. Let us sort it from A to Z and check what happens. See, the most of the records, people who are having liver patients, you can see 258 records are having age group above 40. Means again it is imbalanced. Means again it is imbalanced and so on. So you can, while conclusion, so see ILPD data set where normally accuracy is below 85 or normally it is below 90 only. And if you are giving these reasons, it simply tells that, okay, you are not only telling the why, what is the accuracy, at the same time you are concluding why accuracy is less. It was one of the questions for during my PhD presentations. Okay, we know your accuracy is 85%. We are okay with it, but tell me why it is 85%. Means they were asking me why 15% records are misclassified. And now you can check the record which is misclassified वो कौन से age group का है. Okay, it is class 1. Age group, age is 17. Yes, number of record belongs to that category are less, because of which this record is misclassified and my accuracy is 85. Something like that. So these are important findings which you are supposed to highlight, which you are supposed to highlight in your conclusion and result finally. And now then you can say that, okay, these are the things on which some work needs to be done. More records are required, then only classification can be increased. This is a conclusion. Are you getting it, me? This is a conclusion that data set is available. We can get this much also. But if you still want to go further, these are the lacunas in database which needs to be worked on. If you are highlighting this thing, it is good. Any doubt about this thing? Anyone? So these important findings you have to tell. You need to conclude on this also. It is not only my accuracy is 80%. It does not work in that way. Any question till now? If no, then we can move to next point.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Sir, we are doing this for conclusion only, or we can do this before the pre-processing also?
You can do this before pre-processing, but for conclusion you need this thing, because when your accuracy is less,
Mm.
how you will say that why my accuracy is less?
Yeah,
There must be something wrong either in classifier or in data.
data set.
But
Uh,
classifier are proven classifiers. Some data sets are getting 99% accuracy, but for this data set, you are getting, after all possible combinations, you are getting 85 only. Why? So that thing you must write in conclusion. Na?
okay, sir, if before pre-processing, my data set gives a 99% accuracy, and after combinations, my model gives the 85% output.
Then
Then,
your pre-processing is wrong, or there is no need of pre-processing.
uh, okay.
Because sometimes pre-processing might disturb the data, what we can say, data's internal characteristics. No?
Mm-hmm.
Pre-processing is done to change the characteristics. So if your characteristics are getting disturbed, then it is of no use that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Simon, question, ma'am.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
sir. Yeah, sir. My question is that if we are using, like, if there is a data set and we are using three different models to see that which model will give us the best accuracy. So, for example, if I'm using logistic regression, decision tree, and random forest. So, if I am having a good accuracy with, for example, logistic regression. So, like finally, if I have to present these results, so if they will ask me that, oh, why is your accuracy good for logistic regression and not for the other two? Like if we compare all the three, so like how do we have to tell them?
Ma'am,
Uh,
first of all, though, if your data is having a continuous values, then
Yeah.
definitely logistic regression will work better as compared to decision tree and random forest, because decision tree and random forest, they do work on probabilities, and for continuous value your probabilities are not that great. So when your data is continuous, then either you convert the data into discrete bins before applying logistic regression, sorry, before applying decision tree or random forest. That is the first thing. But if you are not applying, then definitely logistic regression has a more chance for better accuracy. That one. So this is one thing. Hello? Hello, ma'am. Then during one of my papers, there was a question that why you are discretizing it. So I told them, okay, I am using a naive Bayesian classifier, and naive Bayesian is a probabilistic classifier. And since it is a probabilistic classifier, I need to have data either in discrete bins. It cannot work properly in continuous, so I'm discretizing it. That was my answer. And for random forest, why it is not working properly, there can be another reason. And that reason is, let's say, for random forest, you need good data set because it is ensemble of classifier algorithms. So if a number of records in your data set are less, then random forest will not work properly. How many records are there, ma'am, in your data set? Ma'am? Okay, 52,000 records. So that is a quite big number. So random, those are sufficient number of records for random forest. Are your values continuous and they are having a longer range? If your values are continuous and having a very long range, then a logistic regression might work better as compared to decision tree. If you are not discretizing the values. So these are simple things. Your values are having a longer range, they are continuous. So then how random forest and decision tree, they are going to cope up with such a huge values being their probabilistic classification algorithms. Logistic regression will work better. But if you are discretizing those values, then you might get good results on a decision tree or a random forest. What is the maximum accuracy that you are getting here, ma'am? And what is your data set? Can you share, ma'am?
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my data is basically for travel insurance. And if I'm using, like, I'm getting accuracy for all the three models above 90 only. But for logistic regression, I'm getting a good, like, accuracy. So it was like that doubt only I was having, that if I'm comparing all three, so how do I have to like tell them that
Ma'am, what
logistic
is
is
the
the best?
difference, ma'am? What is the difference in accuracies, ma'am?
Sir, it is like for random forest I got 94, for decision tree something around 92 or something, and for logistic uh, just a base plain model, and for that I'm getting 99%.
Obviously, it's simple thing. 52,000 is a big number. You are having continuous values with variety of a range. Definitely, logistic regression will work better. You try multi-level perceptron, you might get 99.96 also.
Okay. So, sir, do I have to tell them that I have used these parameters? That is why logistic is performing well.
No, no, no. See, if you want to tell them which arguments they are using, which parameters you have used, then you can tell them. Doesn't matter. But if they are asking you, or if you are writing a paper with like experimentation based on logistic regression, but you must specify the parameter values. As far as my knowledge is concerned, if you are writing a good journal paper,
Okay, sir.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. Because when you are writing a journal paper, your results must be reproducible. Someone else should be able to reproduce your results. So if someone is not able to reproduce your results, then they might claim that you are claiming a false accuracy. It might happen in longer run. Okay. Now let us move to more important part. Let's say in class two, in class two, what I'm doing now is for this column C, I'm calculating minimum value from it is from C1 to C167. So I'm calculating minimum value, then I'm calculating maximum value. Again for C1 to C167. So I'm calculating minimum value, I'm calculating maximum value. Then average C1 colon C167. And then you can calculate standard deviation C1 colon C160. This is very important thing now that what we are doing. It seems very simple because I'm doing it here in Excel, simple equations, but this is very important thing to represent. So for comparison, now what I'm going for is, let's say I'm talking about my column C, and that column C is nothing but TB, total bilirubin, if you can remember. That is total bilirubin. So now I'm writing these things. Okay, I guess I need to copy one more time. Copy. While pasting, I'll paste only values. Okay. So this is a TB column for class 2. Now let us go for class 1. What is the value of total bilirubin columns? Same again, minimum, maximum. So this is minimum, maximum, average, and standard deviation. Let us check for class C1. There are 416 records. So, okay, is equal to minimum C1 colon C 416 minimum, then maximum C1 colon C 416, then average C1 colon C 416, and then standard deviation for C1 colon C 416. So now, okay, values are pasted. So now if you will see here, so one can simply say that, okay, the values are very different. So columns are different. It is good. But now see, it is 0.5, 7.3, 0.4 and 75. कुछ तो गड़बड़ नहीं लग रहा है. There is something wrong. Means there are outliers, no? There are outliers. So if I'll eliminate those outliers, these values will be same or different. These values will be same or different. Let us check. For that, what we can simply do is, if I want to eliminate the outliers, how can you do it? Simply go to column C, Z onwards. See, and we know these values are extremely high. And this is not, हम लोगों ने देखा था कि ये कुछ outliers है. So let us replace it by some normal values or make it zero. But making it zero is not a good idea. We can replace it by some normal values, or let's say some borderline values. That was 25 something. And now, if we'll calculate that minimum, maximum, and everything, that or we average from C1 colon C416. So now you can see the average is 3.94, and here something like this. So now you can say that, okay, column C1, this column total bilirubin was a good column for classification. So that attribute should have been used. We cannot delete that attribute. So you can conclude why you use that attribute and so on. So you can conclude that, okay, this attribute was helpful. And why this attribute was helpful? Because of this reason, that attribute was helpful more in classification. Then if this attribute was helpful, then which attribute was not helpful in a classification? So you can identify those attributes. and so on. And you can present these things. You can present these things in your comparison, that why you highlighted this thing and so on and so forth. So this analysis of attributes, you must tell. See, तुम लोगों ने लिखा कि using feature selection I selected 4 features. Why? They give higher correlation. But higher correlation होने से क्या हुआ? If there are 4 attributes having lower correlation, but are they different for different classes? That is also important, no? Correlation might be less, but are they different for different classes? If they are different for different classes, likewise here for class C1 and for class C2, total bilirubin, minimum values are similar, but what was higher values, maximum values are different. Whatever average, it's different. Standard deviation will also be changed. Means what? Yes, this attribute is good. So you should be able to conclude these things also. That yes, these classes are good, these attributes are good, and so on. Next to bilirubin, total there is a dB bilirubin. Am I right? So I can copy this and paste it over here. So this is for dB bilirubin. So values are 0, minimum value, maximum value, something like that. So okay, let me copy these values from here in our comparison table. And now we are talking about dB bilirubin column for class C2 and class C1. Ah, I need to copy paste it one more time. Copy and paste. And then finally, okay, we'll again go for this over here. So here we'll go for again minimum, maximum, and everything. I need to write equations. It will hardly take a minute. Minimum D1 colon D416, then maximum D1 colon D416, average D1 colon D416, and then standard deviation D1 colon D416. Okay, copy and paste. Now here, these are the things. So now you can say that, okay, the TB, total bilirubin, DB bilirubin, these are good columns based on these values. But again, why there are misclassifications? Why there are misclassifications? Because because lower range is common for both the classes. Attributes are good, but what about lower range? See, it starts from 0.4, it starts from 0.5, it starts from 0.1, this starts from 0.1. So these attributes are good. They can differentiate, but can they differentiate completely? Can they differentiate it with 100% accuracy? No. Their lower ranges are similar. 0.1, 0.1, 0.4, 0.5. Means for some records, the values are different, but for some record, the values are same. So there is a overlapping. Am I right? There is a overlapping for class C1 and class 2. There is a overlapping for class C1 and class C2 when it comes to total bilirubin column and DB bilirubin column. And because of that overlap, some misclassification is going to happen. So your data is not completely segregated. This is a reason why accuracy is less. So this can you mention in this you can mention in conclusion. Are you getting it, guys? So how we are concluding? We are not only concluding कि accuracy अच्छा आया, अच्छा नहीं आया तो क्यों नहीं आया? That is more important thing. And अगर अच्छा आया तो क्यों आया? So you can specify in this manner. Uh, any query regarding this? Anyone? Okay, if you have a query, then please feel free to ask. So attributes are good. They are different also, but there is overlapping. And how much is the overlapping? That is also important. How much is the overlapping? That is also that is also important. So if you want to check how much is overlapping, we can go here simply and sort these values data A to Z for 0.1 up to, let's say, some value, no? Okay, we'll forget about those equations. छोड़ देते हैं. Okay, let me delete these numbers now because we have already copy pasted it and they are disturbing our sorting mechanism. So 0.1 start and all that is common. Am I right? So now let us sort this column in ascending order and see how many records are there with 0.1 value, which is common in both the cases, or some value up to 0.4, let's say 199 records up to 0.4 in class 2. Let's go for class, sorry, let's go for class 2 now. That was for class 1, sorry. Up to 0.4. 129 records. Out of 167, huh? In class C2, there are 167 records something. Out of that, 129 records are 130 records are having value up to 0.4 and 0.1. And in class C1, there are 199, almost 200 records, means almost half a record. So how much overlap is there? How much overlap is there? That this overlap is very big. This overlap is very big. And that's what is the reason that even though statistically these attributes may seem different based on minimum value, maximum value, average, standard deviation, but in practice there is overlap, because of which these two attributes cannot perfectly segregate two classes, that is C1 and C2. Those two classes C1 and C2, because of which accuracy will be less, because of which classification accuracy is going to be less. So this is also the conclusion which you can tell that why our algorithm fails to go beyond a particular thing. Uh, okay, you guys please take 5 minutes and try to look for other parameters also. Okay. And check what is happening with other parameters. And after 5 minutes, we'll discuss it.